Namaste, I'm Julie, and today I'm going to be talking all about joint pain in perimenopause. What causes it, what's behind it, and what can you do about it? Stay tuned, I have 5 tips, natural remedies that will ease your joint pain in perimenopause. Let's get started. Joint pain in perimenopause can show up in lots of different ways, and it can be either like inflammation or general aches and pains, or like a heavy warm feeling in the joint. And it can show up at different times of the day, but normally in the mornings when we're been lying in bed and we're stiff and we're aching, that can be when it's worse, or last thing at night. But here's the thing, if you don't start to take steps to alleviate the pain, it can get worse. Is it confined to any particular joint in the body? No. I was struggling with toe joint pain in perimenopause. So it can manifest in the toes, in the ankles, in the knees, in the hips, very, very common in the hips, in the shoulders, in the wrist. Think of any joint in the body, and that's where it can show up in perimenopause. So the big question is, what actually causes joint pain in perimenopause? It can literally start overnight, and it's all down to the hormonal changes, but in particular the loss of estrogen. So estrogen actually regulates the level of water that we hold in the body, and when estrogen drops, we're less able to contain the water. And if you think about the joints, the water kind of plumps up the tissues surrounding the joints and leads to like a buffer, if you like, a protective buffer. But when we lose that buffer, that's when we get like little bits of friction and dryness, and it starts to become uncomfortable. So up to 80% of cartilage is made up of water, right? And when we lose estrogen and it affects the level of water, it's like losing your shock absorbers. So the joints become more painful, more uncomfortable, and we have more friction. It's a little bit like losing collagen in the skin as we get older, and ligaments that connect one bone to the other, they also contain a high propensity of water and have this elasticity, right? And they too suffer, they surround the joint, and we lose that mobility and flexibility that we once had. If you think your joint pain could be connected with something else, maybe the onset of arthritis, or you have a history in the family of arthritis, rheumatism, please get it checked out by a professional. But the good news is that if you take action now, you can start to alleviate the discomfort. You can start to improve that deterioration around the joint, and you don't have to suffer, right? The longer you leave it, the worse it becomes, and the harder it is to climb back out of it. So what you do now matters. The even better news is it's so simple. I'm sharing five natural remedies with you that can really make a big difference to your joint pain. But please, even if it's only one, choose one and make those changes. So I'm going to be sharing my 5 remedies to ease joint pain in perimenopause. But before I do, make sure you download my free guide to joint pain in menopause. It gives you lots more information and advice, and it's free. Check out the link below. Yoga is one of the best things you can do for your joint pain. Why? Because it moves the joints. Most of the poses involve some kind of movement of the joint, and there are particular types of yoga like yin yoga that actually target the joints, right? They target the fascia or the connective tissues around the joints, and they bring fluidity back into the joint. They boost blood flow, circulation, and get the joints moving. And if you haven't done yoga before, download my free guide to getting started. Check out my videos. Honestly, you don't have to do lots. You can do just a few simple stretches each day. It would make a difference. And if your joint pain is such that you are struggling to move around the mat and do yoga and do some of the poses, well then try yin yoga, because you literally do nothing but hold the pose. How amazing, right? It's a long hold, simply sitting in the pose, and it really releases that tightness of fascia and tissues around the joint, and it's like giving yourself a massage to that area. Magnesium glycinate is one of the best all-round supplements you can take for joint pain and for aches and pains. This magic supplement relaxes the muscles in the body, eases the friction in the joints, and it also promotes better sleep. So great for taking at night. Make sure it's glycinate and not citrate. There's lots of different magnesiums. This is the one, and you will definitely see a difference when you start taking this, and it's a natural supplement. Water, lots of it. I have this giant flask that goes everywhere with me to make sure I'm constantly on top of my water. So think about it. If you are having night sweats and hot flushes in perimenopause, you're also dehydrating. If you wake up in the morning and you're excessively thirsty, it's because you've been having night sweats in the night. So maybe keep a glass of water next to your bed. But our joints need water to plump up those tissues, to reduce that friction. So water, 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 lots of it. And if you can't drink cold water in winter, a lot of us can't, right? Make it a little bit more interesting, herbal teas, or add a squeeze of lemon to it, but lots and lots of water will really help minimize your joint pain. Most things come down to diet, and joint pain's no different. So sugar really aggravates joint pain. So try to minimize your sugar, as does caffeine, as does alcohol. Alcohol's a lot of sugar anyway, but it really impacts on the joint, so you need to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet. In terms of making additions to your diet, look for leafy green vegetables, olive oils, any kind of nuts, because they all have anti-inflammatory properties naturally within the food that will also benefit the joints. Foods that's rich in omegas and also phytoestrogens are great for helping our joints and topping up the loss of estrogen in the body. Just a little point worth noting, that if you are carrying excess weight, it's said that for every 1 pound of added weight, you place 4 pounds strain on the knees. So excess weight does not help joint pain, so also try to keep your weight as regulated as possible. It's very hard, I know. And lastly, reducing stress in whichever way you can. It might be a walk outdoors, it could be a relaxing restorative yoga session, it could be meditating, it could be running a long hot bath. However you can bring stress levels down is so important, because when you get stressed, you release cortisol into the body. It's an inflammatory agent, if you like, and that worsens our joint pains. And if you think about it, when you're stressed, you tend to tense up more. This causes the muscles to tense, and it forces the joints to work even harder. So being super calm and less stressed will also help your joints. So those are my 5 remedies for perimenopause joint pain, all very simple, easy to start bringing into your life to try and ease that discomfort. And don't forget to download my free guide to joint pain. Look out for the link below, and I will see you again soon. Namaste.